My name is Huli. I am a mom of 2 kids, a 2-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl. And I am going to be sharing with you guys the activities that we've done this past year that you can also introduce to your kids in a Montessori style. So let's get started. Alright, so the first activity that I'm going to share with you today is called plant polishing. The point of the activity is to have either a wet rag or a cotton ball, wet cotton ball, and for your child to take that cotton ball or that wet rag and clean off every single leaf in a plant. This activity requires so much concentration, and it's great for that, for developing concentration, for doing a task that requires gentle hands. This is something that you can start introducing at 2 years old, but I find that the older children actually are a bit more successful with it at first. In this video, my daughter was already 4 years old, and we had been doing this activity several times, and it just kind of became a routine. When we watered, we also cleaned the plant. And she started doing it really well, to the point that she just would do the whole plant on her own. The next activity is more for toddlers. At 18 months to 2 years old, you can start introducing this. And this is what's called dry pouring. And what it is that you want to have a little pitcher. The smaller, the better. And just a little container. It can be any type of container. And then having your child pour in the chickpeas into the cup. It's gonna be a mess. Sometimes they'll, be messy, and that's totally okay. That's why it's helpful to have a tray, so that it actually keeps the mess pretty contained. Instead of just the chickpeas going everywhere, they kind of stay within the tray, and the child can do the activity themselves. Now in this next clip, it kind of shows you the progression from, okay, they did the dry pouring, and so now it's time for actually real liquid pouring. And here is my daughter at 3 years old pouring her own drink. And basically it's just a continuation of, first you started with the dry pouring, and then we went into liquid. But then I find that instead of just having that work, be like an actual, tray with like an actual activity, you can do this for their meals. I find that it's more successful when they actually see what the purpose of it is, instead of just in a tray that really makes no sense. Another activity that you can start introducing to your kids is actually drinking from an open cup. And you can actually, in Montessori, they start introducing babies to start drinking with a cup. As soon as they can drink water, they introduce the open cup. And it's basically just letting them explore. They'll make a mess, like everything, like anything that's eating with babies. They'll pour it out, but sooner or later, which is actually super early, like you can teach, I think, a 9-month-old to 12-month-old how to drink from an open cup, and they actually learn how to do it. I did not introduce it this young. I didn't know about it, so we started introducing it to my daughter when she was 3, and then I started introducing it to my son when he was about 2. When he turned 2, he was like 23 months when we started this process. There will be messes. It's okay. Like, they're gonna pour it out, because they obviously, if they've been using a sippy cup, this is a very strange thing, and too much liquid will come out and it'll make a mess. But the more that you introduce it, and just starting with tiny bits of liquid, and it's very, very small cups, they'll start to get the whole process of like what this is for. Another great activity that you can introduce with eating, it's actually peeling work. Kids love to peel things, and it's such a satisfying thing to finally, to peel and then be able to eat. If you have a 2 to 4-year-old, hard-boiled eggs are a great thing to peel, because it's hard enough that it takes a little bit of finger work to really peel an egg. But if you have a younger child, more in like the 1-year-old, then you can actually start by peeling bananas. This is a great way to start understanding the whole concept of you peel something to then eat it. But if you have more of an older child, 2 to 4, then you can definitely begin with an egg peel. The next thing that you can do actually once that egg is peeled, or even once that banana is peeled, is learning how to chop things and how to, you know, cut ingredients. And in this video, you'll see that we use something called a wavy chopper. It's a great tool for kids to start using some type of knife that is safe for their hands. It's not too sharp, but it'll cut through an egg or it'll cut through a banana pretty easily. And all you have to do is kind of push down and then it'll cut it. And you obviously will have to supervise in the beginning just to make sure that they're, you know, they don't have their fingers in, or that you're there to help them through this chopping work. But it's a great activity to do. I highly recommend it. Another simple activity that you can do is the smelling game or the scent game. And so what I did is that I put different things. I put mint, orange peels, and garlic in different containers, and the whole point of this activity is for the child to smell and pair them together, find the pair. I tried to introduce this to my daughter, but she just loves to, she doesn't like to do the matching game. She just loves to smell all of these things. And that's totally fine. The whole point of this activity is just exploration of the senses, and especially the sense of smell. The next activity that I introduced to her was sorting, and this is a great activity to do with absolutely anything that you have. It can be, here I use different types of beans just because I had 3 different types of beans, and what I did was that I had one container with all of the beans and then 3 different containers for her to sort. Another activity that is super fun in my house is the knock-knock game with the numbers. What you do is that you have numbers written down. It could be in a piece of paper, it could be anything. You put them on a table or on the floor and you put them face down, and then you knock on the number. And then knock knock, who's there? And then you turn it over. It's, oh, it's the number 3, it's the number 2, knock knock, who's there? The number, you know. And I introduced this activity to my daughter when she was 4 already, because I just didn't know about it and I found it. But my son, who's 2, loves this activity. Like, my daughter's already past it. She kind of already knows the numbers and she is more into other things now, but my son loves it. So I wish that I would have introduced it a little bit earlier for my son, because he's really interested in knocking, you know, and seeing like who's behind. So this is a really great activity to start even at 2 years old. And the last super fun activity that doesn't require a lot and it's great for summer is animal wash. What we do is that we have different containers and different, you know, scoops and spoons and anything to wash off the animals, but you can actually do this with anything that you have. You can do this as a car wash, you can do it a train wash, you can do a baby wash, whatever your kids have to play with. Anything wash is so much fun to do, for them to take the little animals, the baby doll, the cars, and have like a little brush or some scoops and just go at it. Now that you get to see all of the activities that we've been able to do in this past year, I do want to give you a reminder and tell you that all of these activities weren't successful the first time we tried them. It is a process that it takes for them to actually like have the skills to get these activities to the point where they can do them, not perfectly, but that they can actually complete them and do them right. Understand that all of this, it's a process that they have to learn how to do. Every single step requires a lot of concentration, requires a lot of skills that they're working through. So just calm down, like let this be a fun thing. If they don't get it right away, put it away and try again in a couple months and see if maybe they'll be a little bit more developmentally ready to do these activities. I really hope that you found these activities helpful for you, and hopefully share with me if you're trying these activities, or if you have any questions. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content. I also share a lot about minimalism, and I hope that all of these activities that I shared, you realize that you don't need a lot of stuff. This is with things that you already have at home. You don't have to continually buy, you know, all of these resources to make sure that you implement Montessori at home. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.